This is going to tick some folks off, but I'm a truth teller. Board certification only matters to other chaplains. Why do you say that, Leslie? I'm so glad you asked. You guys ask amazing questions. So, what is board certification? Let's start there. Board certification is the highest level of recognition of a chaplain skill set in our industry. And there are two primary bodies that offer board certification. There's the APC, which is the Association of Professional Chaplains, and then the SCA. I think that's the Spiritual Care Association is what the SCA stands for. But I can tell you right now, hospitals only accept APC. I'm going to tell y'all what folks like to giggle and talk in Reddit about. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're looking to work for a hospital, getting SCA board certified, they don't take it seriously. I've had too many interviews now. I know too many people who've been interviewed. And so if you're going to go the board certification route, you probably want to go APC. I know SCA folks going to be all in my comments telling me I'm wrong and all of that and giving me their one-off analogies. I am basing things off of my experience in a very large metro area, talking to in departments with chaplains, staff chaplains, as many as 20 staff chaplains. So not some rural hospital in the middle of nowhere with one chaplain. They're probably happy to get anybody who's board certified, anything. Okay. But no, in all sincerity. So back to board certification. So I'm speaking to APC because that is what I know and that is what I am going for. So in order to be board certified, you have to demonstrate competency in 31 different areas, okay? And you write to those competencies. And we're talking not a couple of paragraphs. We're talking substantial writing. It could take people up to 6 months or longer to prepare their application for board certification because of all of the writing that needs to be done. And you're demonstrating that you meet these competencies, that you know what you're doing, that you can demonstrate that you know what you're doing. That's the first step. The second step is then you are brought before the board of your peers. So you're brought before other board certified chaplains and they examine you. Now, here's where it gets a little dicey because everything always gets a little dicey. There are some people who've told me their board certification was a breeze. Like, the panel wanted them to win. Like it was gracious. It felt like a conversation. And then I've had other chaplains say it felt like an interrogation. It was like the Socratic method in law school, if you know anything about that in terms of how they were questioned. They felt like the board was trying to trip them up. So again, it depends on who your board is and the experience that you get, who gets on your panel, what your experience may be like. So, write to 31 competencies. You are examined by a panel of board certified chaplains. And then you also have to have endorsement. Now, endorsement and ordination in some denominations go hand in hand, but that's another thing. I know for the denomination that I'm in, my examination period will be a minimum of 2 years before I could be ordained or endorsed, because I am in a denomination that also does not ordain women to pastoral ministry. So I am being ordained for special ministry, but it's the same process that they would take men through in our denomination to become pastors. I could avoid that process, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, because there are endorsement bodies out there that endorse chaplain candidates. But for me, and again, I'm speaking for me, using I statements, right? We're all trying to be chaplains, so let's use I statements. For me, I don't want to circumvent that process. I want to be affirmed and examined by people who love me. I'm a part of this denomination. I want to follow the rules. I don't want to circumvent that. I'm not saying this is a right or a wrong thing. I'm saying this is what I've decided to do. But again, if you're tracking 31 competencies, write to it. Sit in front of a panel of other board certified chaplains. You must be endorsed ordained. Okay, so if you're tracking, write to 31 competencies, sit in front of a panel of board certified chaplains, be endorsed or ordained. And then you must have 2,000 hours, work hours. Now, here's the catch, y'all. We've been talking about CPE. Like for me, I started working part-time as a chaplain after my second unit of CPE. None of those hours count. The 2,000 hours start when you finish your fourth unit of CPE. So right now, I'm in my third unit of CPE and I'm working full time. The part-time job I had became a full-time job. I'm going to make another video today, so you're going to see me in the same outfit, okay, when I post it, about why I turned down my residency position. But yeah, you got to work 2,000 hours, and it don't start until you finish up that year of internship, okay? So you've got a lot to do to become board certified, and I ain't even talking about the money, because it costs money. To apply, it costs money. After you get your certification, to stay certified, okay, it's a thing. And here's where it rubs me. I do believe we need to be qualified in doing what we do. You are handling people's souls, right? You are doing some very sensitive work. I believe that we need to be educated and confirmed and affirmed and proven and all of those things. But as usual, no one else in the hospital system seems to care. No one else in the hospice system seems to care outside of spiritual care about your credentials. You could ask a doctor right now, what is BCC? And they'd look at you like you just asked them some random question about Mars. Because again, this is a credential that only chaplains care about. And what's the downside to that? It means money. If administrators don't care or recognize a credential, you'll never get paid more than $70,000, $80,000 a year, because it means nothing to them. So when I think about the amount of work that's required, you have to do it because you care about the care that you provide. It has to be its own reward. For many years, I've done leadership training and coaching. And the first thing I tell new leaders is that if you're looking for an atta girl or a pat on the back, leadership is going to eat you up. You're going to be exhausted all the time. You have to do it because you love the game. You have to do it, and it has to be its own reward. It's like the best football players, the best basketball players. They do so well because they love the game. I feel it's the same way about chaplaincy. You got to love this work, because you getting the atta girl and your paycheck increasing is not going to happen. I was sitting in a training just this week, and someone was complaining that they had just gotten their PhD in a chaplain-related field, and their manager barely even acknowledged it, let alone said they were going to give them more money. And what was funny was all these other board-certified chaplains said, well, did you ask if you were going to get money before you did that? And I kind of chuckled to myself, because I'm like, this is why we ain't never going to make any more money, because people don't think enough about it. But they were right. She didn't ask. But I think in any other field, there's an assumption that if you are getting deeper, you're bringing more value to that role, to those patients, that there will be compensation. Not in chaplaincy, y'all. So you better do this because you love it. You better do it because you're called to it. And so for me, that's where I'm at with it. It's just kind of like, I'm also thinking of other ways to make money. You know, I'm going back into coaching. I'm doing spiritual direction. I'm doing things like that because, yeah, I still feel like I can't live off this. I can't have the type of lifestyle that I'm used to off of this type of a salary. And I want to be able to give good service, because here's the thing. I'm going to make another video. Because this video is getting long. But if you're struggling, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you can't take care of your basics, how the heck you going to give somebody else spiritual care and you worried about if you're going to be able to pay your rent? Lights, Does that make sense? It don't make sense, does it? So I just feel like these are things that you need to be thinking about if you do it. Because if you're thinking that you're going to get credentials and credentials are going to benefit you in some way monetarily or even just status wise, like promotion, and people are going to respect you. Like when I see somebody with PhD after their name, salute. Like I respect that when I see that because I know what it takes to get a doctorate degree, right? But in a hospital system, people seeing letters behind your name as a chaplain, I can tell you now, they could care less. They could care less. We need to move from the place of nurses just calling us to give them respite. We need to get to the place where people actually understand the work that we're doing and how valuable and how that contributes to the well-being of that patient holistically, just as much as you coming in there and taking their vitals. Monitoring their spirit matters, right? But here we are. But anywho, so there's my little rant about BCC, what you need to do to become BCC. And if you decide to do it, and I hope you do, but I'm saying I hope you do it only because of you and you care about the work that you do and the care that you provide. But I really do hope that chaplains will start to get more respect. My name is Leslie. I am taking you on my journey to becoming a chaplain. I am a chaplain now, but I'm still creating these videos from the vantage point of videos that I wish existed when I first started. I was looking for this type of information. I'm not looking for agreement. I'm looking for you guys to think about some of these things. Open to feedback and cries of outrage in the comments. Until next time, grace and peace.